Maybe I put a little Biss in because I'm feeling special that night.
Everybody, you say I'm high energy, and there's my brother, a little bit higher energy than me.
Keep adding more
Right,
strategies to the game.
right. At
I know you love punishments, okay? I know you want us to feel pain, but not like this.
Welcome to another episode of Brothers in Exile, a weekly Path of Exile 2 podcast with two brothers in real life discussing the game. Today, we are continuing our journey through PoE 2's early access story with the current state of not the game as a whole, but the end game, something that we have not yet discussed on the pod. Both of us have played a good chunk of the end game throughout the entire game's life, and especially in 0 Point Far. And to kick us off, what is the most exciting topic you would like to discuss today? Cast on comment.
Most exciting topic ever about the endgame, 100% is the how punishing endgame is for Path of Exile 2. I
Amazing
was just
topic.
a lonely lad playing Path of Exile 2 Endgame, and then I'm in a chat with Try over here, and we're discussing the game, and I just die in a map. I'm like, oh my gosh. I died in a map. I lost the map. I gotta do the Walk of Shame Tier 1 Waystone. And then Try over here is like, did you know in Path of Exile 1, you get 6 attempts no matter what?
True. It's true. Okay, well, do you actually think they're going to change that? Because I've talked to Jonathan, people have talked to Jonathan, and brought up this punishment problem. And I agree that it's too much. I think there should be some punishment for dying in the game. It encourages defenses or just smart play. And without resistance in the game, it gets a little boring. I've been talking a lot about how important challenge is. But just the punishment aspect, I feel like there's too many layers stacked on top of each other. So do you actually think that could be one of the big points of feedback that they'll actually listen to this patch? Or
please get rid of the massive punishments.
okay, what's the worst?
Please.
Okay, because I feel like
hold up. You got okay. Here, you know what? You want the worst. You want the worst.
Yeah.
Try. Here's
Yeah.
the worst thing. Here's the worst thing, right? I am playing my character. You know what? There's no life in the tree, so I may have 2k health. Okay, that's fine. I do tons of damage though. I'm a glass cannon. I understand that. I get that. I'm careful. I can be fine. I can back away from the crowd. I can kill the mobs. I can farm. I'm good, right? I go ahead and get myself a juicy tier 15, a juicy tier 16. I look at the atlas. I have to go ahead and research what map is actually good to farm because some maps are just terrible in the atlas. I go through a chart. I'm like, all right, where is this map? Oh, this map. I can hit this map right here. I click that map in. I slam my tablets in. Maybe I put a little Biss in because I'm feeling special that night. All right. I got my tier 16 in there, and I go ahead and press enter. I spawn in that map, and then I accidentally, maybe I'm sprinting because I'm ready to kill some Abyss mobs. I sprint. I fall. I get knocked, and now I'm just pressing my health pot button, making sure my health pot is like keeping me alive, and I get 2 tapped. And I lose the map.
okay, I get it. Okay.
That's the worst part.
Okay.
That's the worst part. You want the worst part? That's the worst part.
Number one, everybody, you say I'm high energy, and there's my brother, a little bit higher energy than me. So there you go. Number two, skill issue, a little bit of a skill issue. Like I get the anger.
Oh, a skill issue. I get it.
I get the anger,
Okay.
but
Yeah. Fair enough.
it does encourage you to build defenses in some way. Now it is kind of boring the way you can build defenses right now. People have discussed that to death, but isn't that kind of on you? I get it's frustrating, but isn't it kind of on the player for not building out their character and just focusing on raw offense? Or your case, item rarity.
You're right. I get it. I accept the risk going into it.
Okay.
I understand.
It's just too much.
Okay?
Like it's too frustrating.
And when I hold on. And when I die, I get it. I understand. You know what? Maybe I sprinted a little too much there, and I got knocked prone. All right. Maybe I'm just a little bit dumb there. Understandable.
Right.
But I've had this happen to my character with 6,000 effective HP, with armor, with evasion, and he'll just get popped too.
Okay. That's not a lot of effective HP.
Hold up here. It's like 2,000 health, 5,000 energy shield. Then I have like 50% evasion. Then I have like 60% armor because I'm an invoker, right? And it
Yeah.
still just gets popped. And the thing
Right.
is that like I don't know what from. It could just be a
Right.
degen
That's a
ground. It
big
could be a
thing.
chaos. It could just be anything, right? And listen, I get it. I build a little offensively. Little offensively, right? It's in the name, okay? I get it. I get it.
Hmm.
I don't build defensively. I build offensively, all right? But at least get rid of the map or allow me to put more things on the map. Okay?
Hmm.
Don't make me do a map attempted. The
Right.
map attempted.
The
That's the
unjuiced
worst
map.
part.
The unjuiced
The
map, because
unjuiced map.
when you lose,
Yeah.
if you somehow don't know, maybe you haven't played a lot of the PoE 2 endgame, when you die in a waystone, when you lose all your portals, you still, to progress through that line and the atlas, you still have to do that map, and you can't juice it with tablets, and the map doesn't have any chance to spawn extra content. So no
Nope.
random breach, no random delirium, no random abyss. It's just a bare bones map that you have to get through. So it is like a literal slog through, and
Yep.
it feels bad on top of all the other punishments. I feel like if they're redesigning the atlas in some way in 0.5, which it sounds like they are, I hope that is addressed, because that is just a feel bad moment, and it's for every single
Oh, yeah.
iteration of player. It's not just for the players that are juicing their maps to the umpteenth degree. It's for the player who spent 40 hours to get through the campaign. Okay, it happens, guys. They're doing T1 maps and they're trying to use tablets, and then they die, and then they have
Yep.
a bare bones map, and it's, it's very boring. One of the coolest parts of Path of Exile and Path of Exile 2 are the layers of randomness. I think Jonathan and Chris and Mark call them the axes of randomness that can intersect, and that's one of the coolest parts. And if you die, there's no chance for those to intersect. And on top of all the other things that happen when you die, I think it's just too much, dude. Too much.
I think so too, honestly. And like those axes of randomness, as you get higher in grinding, as you
Mm.
gain more and more juice, there's just so many where I feel like at times you just can't control them that well, honestly, despite all the tools given to you in Path of Exile too. I'll give you an example. Headhunters is a penny right now. We've talked about it, right? Headhunters super cheap. I run Headhunters on my characters because honestly, in this league, why not? It's the best
Mm.
belt right now, unless you're running Ingenuity for Ritualist, okay? But if you get Shroudwalker, talk about a axis of randomness, just like teleporting randomly in mobs, and especially if you're a glass cannon with Shroudwalker,
That just
that's
happens.
rough.
That you just
That
gotta.
listen,
It just
listen,
happens.
listen,
Gotta
buddy,
accept
listen.
it.
I get it. I accept it. I
Yeah.
accept it. I pray to Jonathan whenever I get Shroudwalker. I'm like, come on, man. Don't do me in this time. Don't do me in this time. I know you love punishments, okay? I know you want us to feel pain, but not like this. Not
Yeah.
like this, man.
That's why I
So,
just don't use the Headhunter, even though it's 2 div. And I know next league, I know you think it's going to be cheap again next league. I don't think it will be. I'm just not using
I
it.
don't know.
I'm just staying out. I'm staying out from the Headhunter. I like control of
Oh,
my
okay.
character. That's one of the
Okay.
most important things to me, being able to remain in control of my guy. And that would be annoying. I totally
Oh, so
concur.
you love stun. You love the stun mechanic.
I just play so that I don't get stunned. I just make sure I use sprint when I'm in a safe environment, or if I'm sprinting, I make sure to dodge through
Yeah.
certain mobs, all that stuff. Yeah. But go for it. Go for it. What were we going to say?
This man played bear. I played wolf and wyvern. Guess who got affected by the cool stun mechanic more?
Thank you.
Oh yeah,
Thank
okay,
you.
yeah. We'll cover that though. But like, it's just like back to like a map attempted real quick here.
Yeah.
If you're doing deadly bosses and you're like trying to you have to clear the map, right? So if you're doing a map attempted, it just sucks because you just got to do it. And like for me, I don't know about you, but for me in the end game, I accumulate two types of waystones: tier 14 from failed corruption attempts, and then tier 1 for clearing map attempted. Because I'm not going to
Right.
put a tier 15 on that thing. I'm not going to put a tier 14 on that thing. I just want to get through the map. There's no reason to play it, honestly. It's just a waste of time.
Yeah. It encourages kind of boring gameplay. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think that's the dev's goal. I think that's just a symptom of the way that they set up this initial Infinite Atlas and the abuse cases that they see within it. So I do hope that layer of punishment totally changes. Something else that I think we wanted to touch on just a little bit is the sense of progression through the Atlas, or
Oh
the
my
sense of
gosh.
direction. Because
Oh
so
my gosh.
so there's a few different areas of this, right? We all are wishing that something is going to change with the Infinite Atlas. Some want it to go away, some want it to stay. You know, everybody wants a basic search function in the Atlas. I think that would help quite a bit. But you have players like yourself who have played so much and they have turned their Atlas into a labyrinth, right?
Yep.
Now, are you've never played Path of Exile 1's Endgame. You've never really played any
No.
ARPG Endgame before, so you just have the PoE 2 perspective. So I think it's really interesting, instead of hearing me, and my perspective is colored by the other games that I've played in the genre. What is your take on the Infinite Atlas and people's opinion on getting lost in it? I want to hear it. I think a lot of other people would enjoy
Yeah.
hearing it too.
So I need to preface a couple things here, right? So like, this is my only ARPG, but I have played other games that rely upon procedural generation, right?
Right.
And typically, when games rely upon procedural generation, direction has a meaning. In the Infinite Atlas, direction has no meaning besides for citadels. And honestly, for a lot of players, they can't even find the citadels, right? Apparently. Um, what GGG has done here is they've created this procedurally generated map, right, of all these random nodes, and then it is a point of interest driven endgame, right? You have to go from one point of interest to another point of interest. But what I have found is that like as you start clearing these points of interest, as you start expanding out your atlas, the infinite atlas starts to mean less. It really does. Like people, I think the initial thought would be like, oh, players would be like, oh, there's a cool desert over here. Let's go explore the desert. There's a cool forest here. Let's go explore the forest. To me, it's just like it is a quilt, right? It is just like this massive blanket of just random splotches and splashes, and I got no idea where I am at all
Right.
times in the atlas. I at one point in time, I spent like a couple hours going down a little bit, and I actually got down below the Citadel spawn range because I was so lost on where to go. I didn't know where my origin, like I don't know where my point of origin was in the Atlas. I didn't know what direction to go to because I just explored so randomly. I just didn't know where to go at all. So like
Yeah.
one thing that I think we all kind of want to see is make direction have meaning.
Mhm.
And for my talks with you and for my research of like some Path of Exile mechanics, they've done this before with Delve. Delve has meaningful direction, right? The more down you go, the more juiced it is. Find
Mhm.
sort of way to make the Infinite Atlas meaningful besides for points of interest, because I think a lot of players are just frustrated with points of interest. Feels like too much RNG and not enough player decision.
I almost feel like, I think that's something that's great there. So delve is a good, it's a good thing to reference, but you could also try something completely different in PoE 2, and you just kind of inspired me there. The direction having meaning, and like the deeper you go, the more things change. What You're really attached to the infinite part of this, right? But
Mm-hmm.
really, to be interesting, it doesn't have to be infinite, and it doesn't have to be limited to a single screen like PoE 1. What if they just generated, like, every single league there's a different seed that everybody gets, and say it's 10 screens wide, and like you said, maybe to the north, they radically change how biomes work, and to the north there's like this range of mountains with a bunch of citadels to the Arbiter of Ash up north. But if you go south, oh, that's the Nazgul's lair. And like almost every single league, they randomly generate it for everybody, and everybody's experiencing and exploring this brand new map of Ray class. It's not infinite. Direction has meaning. So if you go north, you're going to find something different. If you go west, you're going to find something different. I realize I just pointed east, but let's pretend I didn't. If you go west, you're going to find something different. South, something different. I think that would be really interesting, and people would be really excited to then get to Endgame and explore the Atlas. And I know a lot of people who like to plan out their strategies will be like, this is a terrible idea. Well, you'll still have like the Atlas tree to do that. You'll still have the base mechanics to do that. But this would not only give direction meaning in the Atlas, it would also give that golden experience to everyone once they get to the end game for the first time, because when they go and explore, there will be a race to kind of see what's in each direction, and then there will be the whole learning period, and players will be sharing online and in global chat. I can't believe I didn't think of this before. Hopefully they do something like that. That would be cool. That'd be cool, because you don't need infinite to do it.
No, you don't. You don't.
Yeah.
You layer. By the way, we'll get back to infinite here, but you layer another thing on top of it. Bring back what 0.1 and 0.2 had, where nodes had league mechanics attached to it, and then in the different directions, like maybe to the northeast, this is where Abyss is currently spawning in this iteration of the league. Then over here, on maybe the west or whatnot, this is where Ritual is spawning. So the league mechanics themselves can actually be like whole biomes in this finite big atlas, right?
Interesting.
And then you can give direction a bit more meaning. You want to do Abyss, it's up to the northeast. You want to do Ritual, it's down south. You want to do like this, it's over there. And the thing is that you can still have the tablets add more league mechanics. Right. You just have the initial league mechanics you can find to get those tablets, right?
Right.
To actually start farming Abyss tablets and get Abyss tablets to actually play to other maps. Right.
And I just had an idea pop, because if it's limited, you'll need to be able to rerun the same nodes over and over. Okay, have that unlock once you kill not the Arbiter of Ash, but the Forebringer of Darkness, that Nazgul guy.
Yeah.
That becomes an unlock on your account. Okay, you beat Arbiter. Okay, rare tablets. Okay, then you beat this next guy. Now you can rerun map nodes on your atlas. So if you want to spam Confluence, go for it. If you want to do this node here of Abyss centric maps, okay, go do it. Oh, that would actually be interesting.
How big would you need this map to be, honestly? Maybe you can just start shrinking it a little bit, honestly.
Yeah, maybe just literally 5 screens in each direction. And then if it shifts every single league, there's always this sense of mystery. And they'll always be adding new league mechanics, and they'll be dropping in custom endgame maps and everything. That would be really cool.
That would be so cool. And the thing is that we're supposed to be the endgame atlas is supposed to be Rayclass, right? A single continent, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Make it a continent, because right now it's not a continent. It's just the entirety of a universe, right? Make it as you get to the edge, don't have it cut off on a map, but make it like an ocean or whatever separates the other continents out there, right? So you can actually, and then the Arbiter of Ash's tower can just be give it direction, right? Maybe the Arbiter of Ash, you don't need these citadels to actually get to him. You just need to get to him originally. And when you first spawn on the Atlas, the screen shifts over to where the Arbiter of Ash tower is, and it shows you that tower. And within a screen of that tower are other citadels, so you're guaranteed to actually progress through the end game. And when you clear the Arbiter of Ash, your screen will then go ahead. At the first time you spawn back, your screen goes, and you can see on the map the Wyvern flying over to his lair with whatever he took from the Arbiter. I'm going to be honest, I forgot the item.
The Flame Seed. Okay.
The Flame Seed. Okay, the Flame Seed. Yeah, he flies the Flame Seed over the Arbiter and then poops there, and now you know where the other guy is. That would be a cool end game. That would be great. That can use their current engine, right? So, yeah, I look at us. We are theorizing what endgame should be. We're coming up with these really cool ideas. Meanwhile, they've probably already got it done by a couple months ago.
They do. It's done. It's done.
It's done. It's done. These aren't. I wish these could be suggestions, but I'm gonna be honest. I think they're done with those stories, those tasks, those.
The sprints are over.
The sprints are over. Yeah. Far over.
Yeah, they're in marketing mode now. So getting all that stuff ready. Oh, but I do really like that idea. Almost moving on from the Infinite Atlas, but just one note on this, because I know you have strong feelings, and I'm sure others share the sentiment. Tablets? I'm kind of a fan of tablets, honestly. I am. Okay, they're pretty simplistic for Unga Bunga caveman like myself. I actually like them better than Scarabs in Path of Exile 1, because Scarabs in Path of Exile 1, there are a lot more items you need to manipulate. And because I'm an elk and go player, I can just elk a tablet once I kill Arbiter of Ash and just place it on the map. It's okay, I want to do Abyss. All right, Abyss tablet, let's elk it. Ooh, I get some extra modifiers. Awesome. And I can just run it. In PoE 1, you have to get all these specific scarabs and lineups if you want to do specific strategies, and becomes a little bit exhausting. And with the tablets and PoE 2, I feel like that's not the case. But what are your thoughts on tablets?
So okay, hold up. I would love scarabs, by the way. More ways to modify your map would be awesome. I would like that customizability.
Okay.
But back to tablets here.
Yeah.
After a certain point in Endgame, precursor tablets become worthless. And
Like
they're a
base
worthless
ones?
reward from towers. Yeah, the base ones. Who cares, right?
Right.
Because you progress through the boss tree atlas, right? And now any boss on a map will then give it +1 monster levels and is not compatible with irradiated maps. So precursor tablets are, in my opinion, they're just kind of worthless at a point in
Mm.
time. Like you can't like really do too much with them. I would want them to. I would want this. I would want to see the ability to take a precursor tablet, a normal precursor
Okay.
tablet, and then take an item from another league mechanic, right? Go to some sort of crafting bench, combine the two, and you can get maybe a magic version of like a ritual tablet or a
Ah,
breach
okay.
tablet. Basically, modify your precursor tablets into a league mechanic tablet
That's a cool idea.
because I think it'd be so awesome. Because here's the thing, I have hundreds of them, and they're all worthless to me.
Right.
I there's no stash tab for precursor tablets. This is filling up my premium stash tabs. I have so many precursor tablets. I have an entire like tab of just tablets that I would never use. And then I have another tab that's half full of tablets that I might use. And I have another tab full of tablets that I've bought because I want to use them. And there's just so many of these guys. And the thing is like it's been almost a year and a half. Where is the stash tab? Is it going to stay in the game?
That's it. I think
Like,
that's what
are
it
they
is.
ripping it out? Like, what's going on? So, yeah, I mean, I just come on, what's going on here? Also, are they keeping Breach in the game? Because there's also no Breach stash tablet either. Like, where's that guy?
Yeah. They're just once they add something to the game via store, they
Yeah,
can't rip
yeah,
it
it
out.
stays.
So that's why
Can't rip it
I
out.
say just add tablets as it's the fragment tab, but they don't want to do that. So unfortunate, they're
No.
just clogging up premiums. But I think that's a really cool idea about mixing together a base tablet with a specific systems item to make a tablet of that type. I like that. I think that's cool.
Yeah, because I was running Ritual a little bit there for a second there, and I was running out of Ritual tablets.
Hmm.
I was running out of good Ritual tablets. And I was running out of just basic Ritual tablets. I just didn't have another guy. But I had 50 precursor tablets.
Right.
Awesome. Great. Lovely.
You can't
Don't want to use those.
Right. You can't corrupt precursor tablets except in the temple, right? So there's no way to maybe gamble to try to
I
get
don't
extra
know
money.
that. That's actually the only thing I got to test out. I was actually thinking about that.
I think so there's a special
You
room
can't.
in
You
the
can't. That's
temple
right.
that
Yeah.
allows you to
No.
corrupt them and give them special mods, essentially. So I wonder if they could also add that, because that would be a way to get rid of crappy tablets, because if you corrupt them and something, but maybe
Oh,
just have
yeah.
some high reward implicits that you can add once you vow something. So that might be another solution. But yeah, definitely things to do with base tablets and a stash tab. Please, stash tab.
Please, please.
Yeah.
If they're gonna stay in the game another like couple months or year, give us a stash tab. Come on,
Yeah.
please, please. And if you want to add scarabs or whatever in later, add it on top. I can't complain about juicing maps. I like doing it. So please.
Me too. The maps do feel nice and full once you get your rare tablets, I feel like. So, oh, oh no. Oh, do you like that, by the way? Because I love that. I
What?
love that you unlock rare tablets. Uh, the ability to make rare tablets once you kill
Yeah,
Arbiter. I think that's a really cool.
it's
Just
an incentive,
yeah, I think it's good.
right? It's incentive. It's
Right.
incentive, right? To kill Arbiter, right? The issue I have here
Mhm.
is that I feel like there's maybe just not enough things you can do on tablets a little bit
Okay.
to make maps super
Yeah.
juiced. And maybe it's just a this league issue, right? Because we have Temple. We have Temple, right? And Temple is kind of insanity at this point in time, right? So maybe I'm making a very unfair comparison, but like mapping this league is not profitable unless you're farming a certain
It's
a league
not
mechanic,
profitable if you're going for
or
pure
or
currency. Oh,
or
no,
no
don't
no
do
no
it.
no no hold on here. or if you're not doing deadly bosses. That's the only way, and citadels. That's the only way mapping itself becomes
Mm,
profitable, right?
right.
And the thing is that, like, yeah, if you're going for pure currency, Temple's gonna outdo you. But if you're gonna do it for exceptional base drops, Temple is gonna outdo you, right? You can do essences. Essences are worthless. You can do wisp. Wisps are worthless. You can do strong boxes. They're gonna outpace by Temple.
Mhm.
So, like, I mean, like, what pure mapping
You're
mechanic
right.
that's not a league
Yeah.
mechanic is
Right.
actually worth it at this point in
None.
time?
None.
It's deadly bosses. That's
Just the
it. That's
bosses.
it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
So opening that up a little bit more. So almost combined with what you're asking for before, it's almost making just the base game more profit. Like if you don't want to engage with any systems, you're almost saying like I should just be able to run base content and make like be competitive in the economy. Is that kind of what you're saying? Like more
Maybe.
strategies, essentially.
Maybe. Yeah.
Hmm.
Listen, listen, listen,
Interesting.
listen. I love more strategies. Keep adding more
Right.
strategies to the game.
Right.
This allows more players to engage the economy appropriately and not get outpaced by the mega farmers, by the people who just know life Path of Exile too,
Yeah.
right? It allows me to, like, I could run ritual and still make some profit. I can run trial of Zekma, make some profit there, right? Adding more ways to spend your time in Path of Exile 2 to make money is always an awesome thing to do. Always an awesome thing, right? Now, I think they kind of did this with mapping by doing deadly bosses, but also that kind of leads to the same issue of that, like, mapping itself is bad, right? What is
Well,
the best tablet in the game? I need to ask you this question. What do you think is the best tablet in the game right now?
the Grand Project is the best tablet.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Because it allows you to skip mapping.
Right. Right. Yeah. You're right. You're totally right. They need to make base mapping experience better. I think this ties back to the shift in the Infinite Atlas. Here's something like they could do. It's not related to league mechanics. It's not related to out of map stuff. And it ties back into how they've designed the current Atlas. The biomes, dude. The biomes and specific
Yep.
map layouts. Later on in our little show notes where we kind of want to talk about, we can just talk about it right now. The fact that each map kind of is supposed to have a different niche. Like, oh, this map
Yep.
has more rares. This has just more raw monster density. Okay, this map's a straight line, so you can get to the boss back. All this sort of stuff. Why not lean on that sort of thing with the biomes? They already have this in the Atlas tree where they kind of say, oh, you can drop more gold in desert. Or I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
but
Via that one Atlas node.
one Atlas node. Why not make that in it to note where it's just like, okay, base monsters. So this is not abyss monsters or breach monsters. Base monsters in this map in the desert biome, they drop 35% more gold. Or the swamp biome, oh my goodness, they drop more exceptional bases. Like it's a 10% higher chance, something like that to encourage you to want to play through these maps and to chase different maps, not just go to, oh, I'm going to do Confluence. Oh, I'm going to do Savannah. Right. I think that would also be a valid way
Oh,
to do that from
100%.
a dumb player's perspective.
Well, honestly, like, they already do this a little bit. I noticed that there's some maps that just have like 4 strong boxes and other maps that have 0, despite me having it
Hmm.
on both maps. I just noticed this, right?
Okay.
I think if they say what makes that map special on the map node and treat it kind of like an attribute
Oh.
where it has, like, oh, this map has got like 47% increased monster packs, and the roll on the node itself was maybe 30 to 60. And then what if you could go ahead and do that and you can use currency items on nodes to make the node actually stronger? Like, what if you can just corrupt the node and make it a corrupted node and just run the node itself, right? You, like, hover over the node, it's like, oh, this node has, like, pack monster size increase, right? What if I could use a corruption, a Vile Orb on it, and corrupt that modifier to, like, instead of like maybe 6% like the max, but I corrupt it to 70%, right? I can do that with my map nodes, right? Kind of treat them a little bit like strong boxes, maybe. That might be a cool way to make mapping more interesting, right?
I get
Make
it.
the maps more unique. Tell us what makes the map unique as a player. Tell us that information. Don't let us try to, like, find it by wikis and experience, because I'm gonna be honest, there are many players out there who will not understand there's a difference between, like, Augury and like
Yeah.
Savannah, right? They're
Yeah.
not going to know the differences, and I don't even know the difference right now, right? Tell us the difference on the node and allow us to interact with that difference to make mapping more fun and unique. I think it'd be pretty cool. And then, as you said with biomes, maybe each biome has a theme, right?
Mhm.
Maybe deserts has more item rarity or rare monsters, and plains have way more monster pack. And
Yeah.
then maybe like I don't know, others they could do so much. You could do so much,
Yeah.
right? So yeah.
Yeah, maybe like the city zones have more deadly bosses, something like
Oh
that,
yeah.
because they're surrounding the
Oh, that
citadels. I think that'd be cool.
yeah, yeah.
I love the idea of showing what the map does on the map itself. So you gave the example of a map boosting pack size on there, almost like an implicit modifier. I
Yeah.
don't like, and it having a random roll range. That would be super cool. And if you implement the idea where you can rerun nodes every single time it rolls a different range,
That'd
right?
be
Every time
cool.
you do it.
That'd be so cool.
I will push back on the currency thing and using it on maps because
Fair
there was a
enough.
slippery slope in like Path of Exile 1 where map prep became so tedious. And right now, what do we have? And we
Oh.
even had it in PoE 2 with the instilling or whatever, the emotions for maps. That's the one thing to be careful about because then you'll have like so many different steps to set up your map properly. And it does become
Yeah.
exhausting if that's what you have to do or what you're encouraged to do. So I feel like almost having the implicits would accomplish that goal and then being able to like re-roll it every time you run the map. Because
Yeah.
you already have the tablets to kind of accomplish
Oh
the
yeah.
editing and you don't need that extra like click of, oh, I gotta do this, like add
Dude,
current mods to the map to the base map and then the actual node and all that stuff. And then, yeah, right. So,
that's actually a the same complaint I hear about Ritual, where it's
hmm.
so much clicking to get
Huh.
value out of it. It's
Uh,
like I gotta re-roll, I gotta reserve these things, gotta put them in the next one, gotta re-roll. And I get that. You know what? That's perfect pushback, and I accept that pushback. Tell us what the map does.
yeah, totally
Tell
agree on
us what
that.
it does.
100%.
Right?
And hey, you brought it up, dude. We want to go over kind of some of the league mechanics in the game right now, or, end game mechanics, whatever they're called. I call them league mechanics because they were PoE 1 leagues.
Yeah.
It's so difficult. But Ritual, obviously, okay, so what do we have in PoE 2 right now? We've got Breach, Abyss, Ritual, Delirium, Expedition, and probably the Val Temple. That's probably going to come in. And
Yeah.
that's the 6
Hey,
fundamentals. Did I forget one?
did you say Wisp?
Okay, we don't count
The
Wisp.
0.2 mechanic?
No, that wasn't a real league. That wasn't a real league. So that group's grouped in with the Rogue Exiles and the like. What do we have? We're
Sure
gonna
is.
have 6 fundamental mechanics in addition to
Yeah.
your regular mapping experience in the game. And let me know if you disagree. And in the comments too, let me know if you disagree with us. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I think 3 of them are in a pretty good spot right now. Can you guess which 3?
Abyss is up there.
100%.
Abyss. All
100%.
hail Abyss.
Yep.
I'm gonna say Temple
I
because
agree.
I think Temple is pretty complex there. Oh, what's the other one? I'm gonna say Ritual.
Nah, man,
Ritual. What?
I don't think
What?
so. I think
What?
Ritual is too. I think it's too bare bones. I think Breach is really good. I think Breach has done really well. Ritual also has okay. So here's Breach is built out. Abyss built out. Temple, I think it's going to be built out. Sure, it needs some changes, but it's going to be pretty well fleshed out. The other 3
Mhm, mhm.
mechanics, either they have repeated bosses from the campaign, they absorb exactly the same mechanics from Path of Exile 1, and it really doesn't fit in Path of Exile 2. Or in the case of, for example, Expedition, they literally removed cool mechanics from PoE 1 and dropped it in PoE 2 with fewer mechanics, fewer interesting tidbits. So I think those 3 leagues, if this league really is going to focus on fleshing out the existing mechanics, those 3 will see the most love.
I gotta push back against Breach. I got to. I
Why?
got to.
Okay, well, explain.
So you know what? I agree with you on Expedition, on Delirium, and also kind of on Ritual. I agree. I ran Ritual a lot, so I'm kind of biased there, right? But I have to put Breach in there,
Why?
and the reason I have to put it in there. So here's my reason. Here's my reason. Right for this? What can you do with Abyss? You can go for desecrated currency. You can go for rogue exiles. You can go for the pinnacle boss fight drop. You can go for lineage support gems on the non-pinnacle boss fights of Abyss. There are 2 jewels you can farm from Abyss. Okay, and that's all different ways you can use the Abyss mechanic to get currency.
Hmm.
That is, and I'm missing a couple. I'm missing a couple. Oh yeah, you got
Okay.
Omens of Light and Omens of Abyssal
Right.
Echoes.
Okay.
Right,
Okay.
right. You got those things right there. Oh, and you also have the Abyssal Lich. Okay,
Okay.
cool, awesome, great.
Okay.
That's a lot in a league mechanic. That's awesome. That should be that's the gold plus standard.
Hmm.
What does Val Temple have? Val Temple has an entire grid that you can build out and make customized to what you want to farm. You want to farm the different corruption currencies? That's one. You want to farm Architect and the Lady Aziri, whoever she is,
Queen
right?
Atsiri. Atsiri.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's why everyone likes her, right? The name and the lore. Okay, nothing
Yep.
else. Okay,
Yep.
so we got those, and then you can go for div drops. Okay, you can go for all the tier 0 unique items, and go for negative item rarity farming. Like that's a lot in Temple. It's highly scalable, not as much as Abyss, but still pretty high.
Okay.
Oh yeah, actually, there's also unique sport gems as well in this Temple as well. So a lot of scaling, super cool. What does Breach have?
All right.
Breach
It
has
has catalysts. Okay. So you
Catalyst,
get catalysts, breach
Catalyst,
rings. Okay.
Breach Rings.
Zest's uniques, Zest lineage support gems. You can also farm tier 5 items from Zest. Was that 5 things? He has a really
You
good
can
source
farm
of
tier
high.
5 from anything.
Like, well, with like Zest drops I think an outsized amount of eye level
Okay.
85 and pretty quick. I think, is there anything that I'm missing? I think it's those 5 things.
I still feel like that's pretty lacking.
Okay,
Every league mechanic that's dropped to unique, like so, like
yeah, the
Temple
2.
and Abyss, they
Yeah.
have multiple bosses
I think
that
it
you
needs.
can farm.
So I think that they said it's going to get more bosses. I think this league, like they had everything made. They just needed to
Yeah.
do the balancing. So I think you're totally right that it's going to have those more bosses that will probably have their own lineage supports. That'll be so freaking cool. I also think that the stuff you mentioned with how Abyss interacts with the league mechanics, I wish more leagues did that. That's so cool. Can you imagine if like Breach, what if it,
Oh
let's just
man.
take the Rogue Exile example. What if it swallowed a Rogue Exile and it turns them freaking insane or something? And how about you take the Path of Exile 1 league mechanic that would just happen with the revamped Breach, and they sprout arms from they're called grafts from their chest, and they
Oh,
turn into a special Rogue Exile, and they can drop, I don't know, a new jewel like we have with Abyss or something else that's special. I love that sort of stuff. So I totally agree with you. I see what you mean, because Abyss and Temple, they are gold standard. They are the first time that
yeah.
GGG just said, okay, you know what? We're actually going to go whole hog on a PoE 2 league, and they delivered on both of them in terms of rewards, the amount of content in it, the variety of the content, all that stuff. So I do think that sometimes there is beauty in simplicity, but even with a simple mechanic like Breach, where you walk in, hand expands, monsters show up, you can still put some really cool stuff and really flesh out the progression with bosses and the
Oh yeah.
the extra layers or axes of randomness that we talked about earlier.
Imagine just like you walk in, you hit a breach, and then the Rogue Exile jumps out from the breach. That's like so you don't see
Oh,
them,
it's
right? You just
hidden.
walk towards a breach hand,
Yeah.
and you hit the breach hand. The breach hand comes down, and a Rogue Exile jumps out like they've been trapped there, and they're completely insane. Like
Yeah.
that would be cool, right?
Yeah.
I love that. That'd be so cool. Interaction between league makeups would be so cool. What if you can get like so you know how Abyss can infect bosses?
Right.
What if you can get like Abyss to infect Ritual or Breach to affect like the other league mechanics around there?
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool. Having league mechanics interact with each other as that would be awesome. I think it'd be cool. Imagine imagine fighting maybe 2 of the pinnacles at once.
Oh, don't even get me
I don't
started.
know.
I want that so
Oh,
bad, dude. I
it'd be
want that so bad.
so cool.
You can do that in
Imagine
PoE
like
1. You can do that in
maybe
PoE 1. You don't even know because you
I
didn't
know
play
it.
PoE 1, but you
I don't
can
know
do
this.
boss gauntlets where you can fight. It's called, there's an invitation called The Feared, where you can fight 5 of the toughest bosses in the game, most iconic bosses in the game, all at
Yeah.
once. It's
Oh
sick.
my god.
I
That's
100%
so.
agree. I would love to see that in PoE too.
What if you know how delirium's all about mirrors?
Mm-hmm.
What and you know how mirror is like copying things?
Mm-hmm.
What if they add in a part of delirium that you can just like face the mirrored pinnacles of other league mechanics in like a chamber? So like you can run delirium on maps, you can get maybe the emotions or maybe clear like mirror fragments, and you can go ahead and take that mirror fragment to kill a boss. So maybe you take this mirror fragment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go to Abyss, kill the Abyss boss, and that mirror fragment inventory becomes like Abyss affected. And then you go to like a mirror dimension. You could summon a mirror version of that Abyss boss, and you can summon multiple of them. And like I don't know, I think it's so cool. Come on, they have there's so much they can do here.
Like Delirium, I feel like is one that just needs a reforming from the ground up.
Oh
It was
yeah,
pulled
oh
from
yeah.
PoE 1, basically the same as it is in PoE 1, and I just don't think it fits very well in Path of Exile 2. And like
Not really.
Simulacrum is one of the that is the end game part of it in PoE 1. And I don't think it's great in Path of Exile 2, but doing something like that, like a Simulacrum boss gauntlet,
Yeah,
that sounds pretty PoE 2 to me, honestly.
I think so, right? That
I
might
like
be
that.
pretty cool. I'm gonna be honest right there, right? Because like you can tell with like, and we talked about this when we talked about 0.2, right? A lot of these league mechanics have artifacts from Path of Exile 1,
Yeah.
and 0.2 really showed that from Breach, right? Breach got was a massive like, oh, the white mobs are attacking me, right? And that Path of Exile 1 artifacting is still there in some of
Mm.
these league mechanics because you've told me this a little bit, right? These aren't like the full league mechanics from Path of Exile 1. These are kind of like a little bit not botched versions, but like scraped off the top versions of these mechanics into the game.
Some of them are almost dropped wholesale. Like Expedition, that one
Okay.
is just it was gutted from Path of Exile 1, put it into PoE 2, and some quality of life things from PoE 1 don't exist in PoE 2. For example, in PoE 1, the artifacts, like the
Yeah.
literal artifacts you get, those are auto loot in Path of Exile 1. And they're just stored in an Expedition like stash. In Path of Exile 2, you have to loot every single one
Gotta
and
click
put
them.
them in your
You gotta
stash.
click them.
And yes, there are dozens that come from each encounter. There's very interesting decisions that they made. There's also like in PoE 1 with Tujin, you kind of gamble with him essentially. You'll bet a certain he'll spawn currency in his window, and you can try to like use a slider and say, "Hey, I'll offer you this much for that piece of currency," and sometimes he'll say yes, sometimes he'll say no, and it's I don't know. They just got rid of it for PoE too, and they
Interesting.
have different shops that aren't nearly as compelling. That honestly, guys, I think I've opened the shop windows for the Expedition merchants like twice, and that's a shame, total shame. So
I have opened the shop window of the Expedition Merchant Gwen once, and that was only because you can really get infinite money from her. Like if you just stay there and you like click a lot of buttons, you can get infinite gold from that merchant because of how cheap the things it is to buy her rare items on. So you just buy the rare items, you just sell it back to her. Like yeah, that's all. That's all I use them for, honestly, because they don't seem that like. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't really interacted with Expedition. I don't have much to say in Expedition,
yeah,
but like it doesn't seem that interesting, honestly, at times to me. Didn't they also remove content from Expedition
yeah,
in Path of Exile 2?
yeah.
Like it was in Path of Exile 2. It was there, and they just
Mhm.
like take it out.
Yeah. Yeah, so I feel like that one's gonna see a major tune
Yeah,
up in 0.5 as
yeah,
well.
yeah.
So is there anything that I know you farmed a lot of ritual, you interact with it a lot. Is there anything you have to say about that mechanic? Because we talked about the other ones at this point.
Make the purple omens more common,
They've already done that.
please.
They've done that though.
Again,
Again? Come
because
on.
I wanna okay. And I've had debates between our internal friend group with this, right?
Oh,
Um, these omens are so expensive
uh-huh.
that if a player, first time Path of Exile 2 player, comes
Right.
about, is cognizant of the economy a little bit, and they find that purple omen, they are massively incentivized to not use it. because of how many divs you'll get from it in every league. Not even just this one. In the past leagues, it was worth I think a couple divine or maybe like a lot of exalts, right? And you can do so much more with that currency than you can than with the omen. And the omen itself is super powerful. Don't get me wrong, it is massively powerful. But it is so expensive, it is decentivized to actually even use it as a player.
Yeah.
I've gotten it, and I've
That
never used it.
that sucks. Crafting currency, I think, should never be reserved to be that rare. I think that should go to the
Yeah.
coolest lineage gems, the coolest unique
Oh yeah.
items, and the like some crazy currency like the Mirror of Kalandra or a lock of Hinekora, right?
Yeah.
But these league specific ones, I just feel like that enable like your basic, not basic, but your higher level of crafting, they're so rare. I it's I don't like it because you're right. I would never really use it myself unless I was
No.
playing SSF, you know? And then,
Yeah.
it's not like it's a 100% hit either. Like there's so much RNG too. So even if you end up getting one in SSF or if you just use it in trade, there's a really good chance you're just going to miss and you're going to feel like total crap. You're going to be like, oh gosh, to actually get this, I might need to buy like 10 more of these and they're so expensive. So why would I even do that? Why not just buy the item that is basically the item I'm trying to craft that is on the trade market right now instead of actually trying to make it myself? And I
Yeah.
know this is a conundrum, but
Crafting for the average player is massively decentivized for how rare the craft materials are.
with
I
those
think
materials. Yep.
with those materials,
Yep.
with those materials,
Yep.
because like perfect exalts, I'll perfect exalt all day all long. I don't care. The item bases, I'm okay spending the div on the item bases because like the level 82 obliterator bow, one
Mm.
div. The exceptional, it's like 300 div. But like maybe I I'm okay with the 82. Okay, I'm not trying to make a mere little item, right? I'm just trying to make a cool item, right? So I think they actually have already solved the Omen issue with the other currencies they have, right? They have Exalt, Greater Exalt, Perfect Exalt. Is there some sort of way they can implement some sort of a tiered system with the Purple Omens that will allow players of lower playtime to use that mechanic? Is that a possibility?
I don't know. Are you thinking like instead of what a lower chance of success or something like that? Like
Maybe a
maybe
little
a lesser omen.
yes.
It only even works. Oh, 70. No, I feel like that. No,
No,
I feel like just reducing the rarity of that because
reducing the rarity.
they'll still be in demand in the market because people will then be
Yeah,
utilizing them more. They'll be buying them more. Like I just think they're too rare. GGG obviously knows they started too rare. I still think they feel they need to tone down the rarity of these a little bit.
yeah,
So
yeah. It takes a while to find one. It really does.
right.
I ran like 10 maps, and the rerolls I had were like 8 or 10 rerolls per map, and I didn't. I found one Omen of Whittling, and
That's pretty good though, right?
that's the cheaper one. That's the cheaper one.
Oh, what's the expensive one?
Omen of like Sinister Annulment, right?
Oh,
The
okay.
Annulment orbs are the expensive one.
Oh, yeah,
Omen of
almost.
Whittling, when I found it was only 40 div. Now it's up to 80. But like the other ones are
Holy
100,
shit.
120. So it's like, yeah, I mean, it's just it shouldn't be that difficult. It shouldn't be that hard, honestly. Come on.
Right.
With Breach, I can find the catalysts to put Polymate Rain. Breach is like catalysts. Good spot, honestly. Good spot. Okay.
Right.
The mechanic needs to be reworked still, but the catalysts are in a good spot. With Ritual, it's just like, listen, I need that purple omen to feed my family. I'm gonna run 20 of these maps, see if I can
Right.
find one.
Right.
Right? And then the click ops of it, right? The all right, reroll. Oh, there was something of a little bit of value. Let's go ahead and save this. So now every time I find it, I have to click 3 more times, right? So reroll. Oh, push next one. This, that item, confirm, reroll. Oh, this,
Have you
that, this, yeah,
have
this,
you ever
that, yeah,
rolled past?
It's ritual.
Have you
Ritual
ever
right there.
rolled past an item that you need, like an Omen of Whittling or something like that? I've done that in PB1 where I've rolled past.
Yeah.
Yeah, see that's rough.
That
That's
that
rough.
that because like the item is a 1 by 1. It's
I know.
small, and a lot of like currency items, a lot of like 1 by 1s will spawn like over here in that sidebar. but I found my purple omens are spawning like with the equipment. Like, what are you doing there?
Mm, mm.
So yeah, no,
They must do
it's
that intentionally.
I don't know. Like, imagine they intentionally programmed it so you would roll past it,
Eh,
and when you roll past it, you just see it for half a second, and it's just gone. That right there is the Path of Exile 2 way,
yeah,
right
yeah. Oh
there.
yeah, yeah. Now, the last thing
Okay.
and the only thing that we know at 100% certainty is changing in 0.5 are the Atlas trees. Mark Roberts, game director, he literally said the new Atlas tree system, whatever we get, maybe it won't even be called an Atlas tree, okay, is in a completely different universe. What do you think that would mean to
Good.
you?
Oh man. Oh man. Well, so I think we need some context of where we came from, right? I'm gonna
Okay.
be honest, right? We come from the Atlas tree of nothing, honestly. Let's be
Okay,
frank, right?
true.
The current Atlas tree is a slight nudge in what you want to do. It's not that good unless you're in Rogue Exiles. That's kind of like the best nudge, but like it doesn't really do too much. I use it for shrines, strong boxes. That's kind of it. It's kind of bad. It's kind of terrible. What I want to see is I want this Atlas tree that they're gonna make. They're gonna put out there. I want it to be able. I want to use it to specialize in my farm method.
Okay.
Massively specialize.
Right.
I want this Atlas tree to be at least half the size of the skill tree. At least half the
So
size.
combined as opposed to separated out like right now, because that's kind of how it is. That is how it is in Path of Exile 1,
Well,
where it's
that's the thing.
all one tree.
I find that boring.
Why?
Massively boring.
Why?
There's one good. There's two. Okay.
It's what you just
There.
said though, because if everybody
Oh,
gets access to a
oh,
core
oh,
tree and
oh.
separate trees, you can never specialize.
My apologies. I meant it being separated out was boring.
Oh, okay.
Because
Okay.
if it's separated out, there's typically one or two good configurations of those small trees,
Exactly.
right? Right. Ritual. There's actually only one good configuration for ritual.
I didn't
For
take
Abyss
it.
is like two, and it's just like those are boring. No, put those on the Atlas. Put those on the Atlas. And then whatever the current league mechanic, maybe it occupies a certain spot on the Atlas tree, and it will get rotated because not all the league mechanics will become core, right? Have the core ones around, have me the current one in a special spot there, and allow me to basically allocate nodes to hyper specialize
Right.
in something. And I'm not like talking like hyper specialize in Abyss. I'm talking about like, let me hyper specialize in Rogue Exiles of Abyss for the Jewel drop. Let me hyper specialize
Mm.
in maybe monster effectiveness in Temple. Like, let me specialize for a single thing I'm going to farm,
Ooh, that's
right?
it. That makes sense. I don't think they'll add temple to the tree. I wonder if they will.
You know what? If it's going to
Ah.
be a core league mechanic, they probably will,
But it's
right?
out.
They
It's like
probably
an
will.
out of map
Yeah.
mechanic, but
Yep.
the core
Yeah.
map mechanic is poo poo. I wonder if they'll
Yeah.
maybe you'll be able to like earn locks from that rent. I don't know. That's
I
interesting to
don't
think
know.
about, dude. Because it's totally going core, but how do they
Yeah.
how do they give it like a tablet? Huh.
It's got to be a tablet. It's got to be. I think they're going to do a full Abyss treatment on it. They're going to be like, here's your Atlas skill thing. Here's your tablet, and then they're probably make it reduce in maps, right? That's what
Yeah.
I'm expecting, of course. But I'm a Path of Exile 2 player. I have no idea. Like I heard about the GGG triple tap before. I've not seen it before, except for maybe in 0.2. But that's what I want. I want a hyper specialization of the tree. I want the ability to not just farm a leak mechanic. I want the ability to farm a specific thing in the league mechanic and
Yeah.
specialize all around it. Maybe in the little area of where ritual is, I can be like making the mist stronger, make him have more drops, maybe adding a second can of the mist to the map, yada yada yada. And
Hmm.
then around the other nodes of the tree, I can be like item rarity,
Right.
boss drop quantity,
Yeah.
monster effectiveness, and like basically
Pack
get
size.
scaled out that
Yeah.
exactly. Well, not pack size wouldn't be for that, right? If I'm just running King of the Mist over and over,
Oh,
let me
okay.
hyper specialize into just King of the Mist, right? So
Ah.
that's my vision.
Huh.
However, I'm gonna pass the table back to you. You've played Path of Exile 2, you've played Path of Exile 1, you've played some other ARPGs, you've played some other endgames. What do you want to
I
see
I
in this Atlas tree?
I agree with the specialization aspect because it is boring when everybody gets access to the same nodes, and like you said, it becomes very static. You know, everybody's taking the same stuff. So if you have something that's completely united where you gotta take different pathways or have different configurations if you want to do different mechanics, that's way more exciting. Way more exciting.
Oh yeah.
So I expect it to be combined. However, he said in a whole different universe, and I think he said from the current one and PoE 1. PoE 1 is a united tree, so I feel like they've cooked up something that is unique to this game, but I honestly, I'm not smart enough to say what.
One word, or two words actually. Atlas Jewels.
Okay, yes, that would be cool.
Imagine imagine you could get Atlas jewels with, and they have attributes you can craft on them, and
Yeah,
each jewel is going to be like, hey, rich, like maybe it's like basically it's like a permanent tablet added to your Atlas
right.
tree. But it can be a little more specialized too, right? And then your Atlas, maybe your Atlas isn't a skill tree, maybe you're assembling a tablet in, like, your Atlas tree turns into like an empty tablet, and you add fragmentations, and these would be your jewels, right? And you can modify how you would actually want to run your end game.
They actually tested this in PoE 1. It's called the idol
Oh,
system. They got rid of the Atlas tree and you found idols, and the idols had basically very powerful versions of the nodes on the Atlas tree on them, and you got to assemble your idol locker or whatever. So you could be on. I feel like they would have maybe hinted that that was it if it was it,
mhm.
but I think jewels might be like perma tablets, perma
Yeah.
strong and introducing some more either permanent strong tablets or just new unique tablets. Like something popped into my head. Imagine there was a tablet that like twinned bosses in a map. Wouldn't that be so cool? Like, why isn't that a
So
thing? Like, you
cool.
can roll twinned bosses in Path of Exile 1. Why not in PoE 2? The boss focused, boss centric game. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Oh, imagine if you could stack that too, and you get the one map with the two millers, so you're actually just fighting like 16 millers in one area.
Okay.
I would love that. I would love
I
that.
would
That'd be
too.
so much fun.
I would too. Yeah, there's a lot that, we're hoping to see with the endgame revamp in 0.5. And I think on the next episode of Brothers in Exile, we are going to give our full 0.5 predictions because surely we're going to get news soon. Right? Right, guys? I think so. I think. We're stalling right now. Like we are June, yeah, 0.5 June. Can we get a cast on crit cast or and a comet buff, right? The board is growing in the background.
It will
So,
grow.
yeah, any final words to close out our discussion before the complete apocalypse of the current Path of Exile 2 endgame? This is gonna live in history forever.
All right, actually, what they should do for the end game is, instead of being like a cool infinite atlas, they should take the entire continent of Rayclass, put that thing on a comet soaring through space,
Okay.
and you have
Okay.
a whole space themed atlas instead. I heard there's a pretty cool hideout that's space themed that someone didn't get here, and like it could just be a massive comet. I'm just saying that'd be pretty cool,
I
right?
have that. I have that hideout. It's pretty
Right.
sick. I'm on the back of a turtle flying through the cosmics of space. It's pretty sweet. Unfortunate that you don't get it. I'll have it in Path of Exile 2. You can come visit it once it's ported to
Oh,
Path of Exile
oh,
2. And everybody
oh,
watching right
thanks.
now can like the video, please. Subscribe to the channel. Go check out Cast on Comet's channel, which totally has content on it at this point. This is our third podcast episode. I'm sure it has a video. And we will see you all in the next episode 4, predictions for 0.4. I mean 0.5.
0.5.
Bye.
Keep guessing comments.
That's the silliest sign off ever. Keep